Championships in Dallas, Texas. We're so excited for him to be competing with people from all over the world. And he presented his bacon dish at noon today. And so we want to wish Brandon luck as he takes this world-class cuisine all over our country. And so, Rob, thank you for being with us.
I'm glad to be here.
Rob is our co-coordinating chef, and he is bringing with him great expertise. So, Rob, tell us about you and your experience in the kitchen.
Well, I've got over probably 35 years experience. I've worked for Aramark for 16 years. I started out as a dishwasher, worked my way up, went to school here in South Carolina at Horry Georgetown Tech in Myrtle Beach. And I really like South Carolina. I've been here 37 years, and it's a great place, and I love making people happy with my food.
Yeah, so 17 years in South Carolina, you really do like us here.
37.
37 years.
37
yeah,
years.
You really do like us.
I'm married
here.
to South Carolina girl.
Well, that'll do it, right? South Carolina girls.
Absolutely.
Yes. Best girls in the world. So we want to just welcome you here with us today. This is Rob's first year with our event, but and we're excited to have many more years with you as you hang around with us and serve wonderful food to those who support us. We also want to thank our sponsors, Aiken Regional Medical Center, Chandler Law Firm, and Bridgestone Tires. We want to thank those sponsors for being with us. Excuse me for stumbling, but we want to thank those sponsors for taking care of us and making sure that we're able to have this event for you today. So this event is the culmination of a year's worth of planning for a live in-person event that turned virtual because we were not able to have our venue this year. And so we're just so excited that you decided to be virtual with us as well. Now you're going to have the opportunity in the email that you got with your heating instructions. You also got silent auction items that you'll have the opportunity to bid on during this broadcast and after the broadcast. And so we want you to plug into our silent auction items and bid away on our funded needs and the other items that we have. Go ahead and start getting ready for your first course. Get your first course ready. As we prepare to go into our first video for the evening. Now, one of the things we wanted to explain to you this year was how different the pandemic made things at Helping Hands. And so we just explored that with our staff and with the residents here. And we wanted you to just really get a glimpse inside of what it looks like at this agency since COVID-19 occurred.
The COVID pandemic really made my work here much more thoughtful. It required a lot more deliberation on my part because we were going from business as usual to having to consider every single step of the way that we approach our work with young people. My job was really impacted because I was forced to really look into epidemiology, even to look at disease spread and make sure that we were keeping up with universal precautions and that we were protecting ourselves and our staff. COVID for most of our nonprofit partners has been very stressful in that it has changed the way we approach our business.
Because we are so deeply rooted within the school system, a lot of our programming came to an abrupt halt. We were used to going into the schools, assisting with reproductive health, doing boys council, girls circle with the youth, and when everything stopped, we had to rely solely on virtual sessions when that was available, and we just had to readjust to what was the new norm.
The impact on me personally, for the first time working at Helping Hands, I had always up until then worked in the afternoon and into the evening. And with the kids home and getting into school at 7, whatever in the morning, I needed to set my alarm for pre-dawn, which was unusual for me, and to be here by 7:15 in the morning. That was the biggest change in my life.
So the pandemic had very little impact on the way that I worked. I'm very fortunate as a mental health professional to have my clients here with me. However, we did have young people who already had providers who needed to stay connected. And so it became my responsibility to ensure that we had the technology and all the things that we needed to ensure that they could engage in telehealth services with their current providers, keep that contact going.
So when COVID happened, this past March 2020, I think the most impactful thing was that where we depend on volunteers to help us with activities and events and different things like that, those things came to a screeching halt. And I think where the challenge began was our kids came home and we couldn't have volunteers on campus to help with tutoring. And kids still have birthday parties, but birthday parties were at that point could lead to us potentially having a pandemic even in our small agency. So that was the, I think, most challenging part.
Oh boy, so we know that so many things have changed here at Helping Hands, and the coronavirus 19 really made us have to make some major changes here at the agency. It really was a scary time for us, and the fact that we're sitting virtual here with you for the second time lets you know how much it has changed for all of us. And so we just appreciate you joining us, but we also just thank and congratulate our staff for making the shift and making things work really well. Again, we want to thank those who have sponsored us and made it possible. The wine that you have. So when you picked up your food today, you were able to make one of three choices. You could choose a white wine, a red wine, or a rosé. These are all French wines that were chosen to match the food. And Rob said that when he got here, he was really happy that we had chosen these French wines, even though somebody else chose them. But Rob, tell me why you thought that the choice of wine was a good one.
Well, I always felt that French wines seem to have a little bit more character and flavor than, say, the California wines. Although California wines really do a good job, it's just you can't beat the French wines.
I tell you what, see, and I don't know anything about like where the wine comes from.
It's gotta be the dirt.
I just know that, it gets in the glass. And so it's always good to have somebody like Rob with us to help us understand how to pair these things together and make it a good meal for you. And so you got to choose whatever you prefer this time. And so we hope that works out for you. Those wines were chosen for us. And we appreciate those that participated in that. And you see, Chef Rob knows so much about his profession that he can talk about pairing those wines, even down to the dirt. So we are just excited to get with you our first course that we're having tonight. And Chef Rob has prepared that course for you. And so hopefully you have it ready. You've warmed it up according to the instructions, and Rob is going to talk to you in video right now a little bit about how that dish was conceived and prepared.
Hi, I'm Chef Rob Harper with the University of South Carolina, Aiken. I also represent Airmark. I'm serving the appetizer tonight. It's a Moulin Belgian mussel, and it's a wonderful thing that goes with Stella Artois. I hope that you have a great meal this evening, and I'm looking forward to you tasting my mussels and having a great evening and a great meal. Thanks so much.
So we're just excited to have in front of us right now this beautiful dish of mussels. And in your bag, you also got a roll that went along with that. Now, Rob, what was the word that you used? Like the bread was for what?
Well, I misspoke. Everybody corrected me and said it was for sopping.
Yes, it's sopping bread. Rob called it something else, though. Tell me what dignified people call it.
I don't really remember what
Okay.
I got corrected real quick, though.
Yeah, so all of us Southern girls were calling it sopping bread. So this is really good for what's left in the plate after you try these beautiful mussels along with whatever your wine choice is. Today, I've chosen the white wine. And so we're excited to
Good choice.
give this a sample.
You can also use the shell as your fork too. That's
I
what
know, but I'm supposed to be like really dressed
Oh, I
up
gotcha.
and fancy tonight. So
you can just take the shell and use it as your scoop.
yeah. He's so good at that.
Oh, it's so good.
Y'all, that is a beautiful mussel. Along with the choice of the wine, it's really a beautiful dish. We just thank Rob. Thank you. Just tell me the name of this dish.
It's Moulet's Belgian mussels. Typically in Belgium, they would serve this with frites, which French fries, believe it or not. And but I did it just with the bread. And people sit there and eat mussels and more mussels, and they keep bringing them over to the table.
So when this was when the menu came out, our finance manager, who spent some time in France, talked about eating a part of France that she went to, that they were eating these mussels on French fries. And I thought, boy, that's weird, right? But you just verified that she was telling the truth. She actually did go to France, didn't she?
Absolutely.
Yes.
But that's how they serve them, and they keep on bringing them. Yeah.
Well, it really would go well with anything, but I can see myself making some angel hair pasta after this is all over.
Great.
and making that into a whole different dish. So
linguine too.
Yes.
Really well.
Oh, beautiful. Yep. Yes. Thank you so much. And we're excited that you brought this dish to us as your country that you're representing is Belgium.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is international food, and we want to make sure that we are representing all over the country. So get ready for your course number 2 that's coming up. When we come back from the next video, we'll have that plate in front of us. So.
So what I had to do was freshen my skills and knowledge on telehealth services, because as a licensed professional, there's certain ethical codes that we have to follow. I did an online training to ensure that we were within the guidelines, ethical protocols for that, make sure we had the technology, the software. So that's how I had to make an adjustment once the pandemic hit.
For one thing, we had to figure out how to have school here on campus. Thank goodness, we're thankful for our partnerships with the school district, our existing partnerships that already had us equipped with a computer lab and broadband access so that our young people could engage. But we needed cameras that we didn't have, and were in short supply because everybody on the planet needed cameras at the same time. We had to make some adjustments to separate residential space from school space and make them feel like they were in a different place. And so we used a different place on campus to make sure that they felt like they were in school or somewhere different. And I think our staff did a really great job of planning and executing activities so that our young people just stayed active and had an opportunity to feel normal and forget about the pandemic, which was our goal.
Well, basically that all of the kids were with me all day long. And I had to go sometimes from a kindergartner to an 11th grader without stopping at all of the other grades. So, and switch around what I was doing and what I was thinking. And it was a challenge, but it was fun. I enjoyed it because it really challenged me, and it challenged these kids too. They were doing, being on Zoom all the time, and being on computers all the time. That was not what they were used to too. So it was a challenge for me to keep them focused on what they were supposed to be doing.
The biggest adjustment was meeting virtually. We're used to going out, meeting with kids, meeting with families, doing activities face-to-face, but now we had to meet on Teams or Zoom, telephone calls. We relied heavily also on emails. and we could not be as personal as we used to be. So we all had to learn new platforms and try to reach them in different capacities.
When we stopped outreach opportunities where I wasn't going out to speak and events were canceled or they were changing the formats, I was able to actually did a tour with United Way via Zoom. And so, which was interesting. It was super engaging. They were still able to ask questions, but I walked around with my iPad and did a tour of the agency. And it was, I mean, actually the two campaign professionals really, really loved it and felt like they learned a lot about the agency. And so now we still have that opportunity. I've still done Zoom conversations and giving information about the agency. It just has changed a bit. We do wear masks and we don't still allow maybe larger groups to come.
So things really did change for us during the pandemic. There were a lot of adjustments that we needed to make. And it was really tough for us on campus here. Now, Rob, you're at USC Aiken. Tell us a little bit about what kind of adjustments you had to make.
Well, we had to make sure that whereas our buffet was served themselves, every item, we had to put glass up and block everything off. We had to serve every student, every item. It changed a lot of processes that we did.
Yeah.
We also had to quarantine people to feed too at the same time.
Yeah. So a lot of room delivery kind of things for some of the students that you had.
We actually dropped off and then somebody else would take it to the room to protect them.
Yeah. Those adjustments were hard for all of us to make. And I think here we had a few young people that we had to quarantine. We only had one positive case. Through the whole pandemic so far. And so we're really grateful for that. But it really changed a lot. I know that, you are, you said you were Serve Safe instructor. Mm-hmm. And we have Serve Safe practices here on campus, but in OSHA practices and universal precautions and
Absolutely.
All the things that you're supposed to be doing in order to protect yourself. But everything was heightened during this time. Mm-hmm. And we needed more gloves and more sanitizer and more bleach than we ever used.
Tables and all this stuff. So
we
had different things. One of the nicest things that we had this glove dispenser that when you waved your hand over, it blew air into the glove.
Yeah.
And they could get it, and we put it out for everybody.
Yeah, that is really awesome. Cool. Yeah, and just to make things so much more sanitary. Mm-hmm. And so COVID really changed so many things for a lot of us, and we here at Helping Hands had to make those adjustments. And so we're again so grateful to our staff for making sure that those adjustments were made. So I think we're at our muscles now. We've had our muscles, and I hope you had that bread and sopped up the liquid in the plate. And so now we're up to our second course, and this course was prepared by Chef Jeffrey Hairston or Cheffrey from Rose Hill Estate here in Aiken. And so watch again how the origination of this dish came together, and listen to Chef Jeff tell you about it.
Hi, Jeffrey Harrison here, Executive Chef at Rose Hill and Stables Restaurant and Sheffield's Restaurant. Welcome back to second year of Chef Extravaganza. Just a bit about Rose Hill for anybody that doesn't know so far. We are a really wonderful double restaurant hotel on a full property that's an entire city block. There's 13 and a half buildings. We're on 5.5 acres, and we have two beautiful restaurants. We have Sheffield's, which is up at the top of the main hill, and that is our fine dining international restaurant, great for special occasions. And we also have the Stables Restaurant where we currently are, and that is more of a Southern style pub mashup. We've got really wonderful food, big format games. We have live music every weekend, Thursday through Sunday, and it's really just an awesome way to spend time with your family and enjoy. What we're serving for Chef's Extravaganza this year is the soup course. Soup is one of my favorite things, especially when it's chilly, and I think it's a really, really wonderful way to help out with Helping Hands this year. So we're doing white asparagus soup, which is roasted white asparagus, a little bit of heavy cream and some chicken stock. It's really delicious, flavored with fresh herbs, and then we're going to serve that with white truffle peelings, gorgonzola, and crispy leeks. So it'll be really, really wonderful, warm soup for a nice chilly day. Chef Extravaganza is really awesome, and it's really important to me because it's a wonderful way to give back, to help people around Aiken. So it's an amazing opportunity to give something back to so many wonderful people. Please feel free to stop by and check us out here so you can see a little bit more about what we do and have a good time. I mean, it's a wonderful place. We do events, we do weddings all the time. Anything you're looking for here at Rose Hill, we can take care of you. So thank you so, so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Yeah, so Chef Jeff is a master in the kitchen, and so many of us in our community have enjoyed the cuisine over at Rose Hill that he's created. Last year, he was a chef with us for the first time, and we really enjoyed that short rib. So this year's white asparagus soup with gorgonzola, truffle, and crispy leeks. Now, uncultured people like myself might think that these are fried onions, but they're not. They're crispy leeks, and I'm so excited to try this. Hopefully you've got yours warmed up as well. And that's amazing. Another opportunity to try. And so we have one of our guests that was willing to come on and share with us their reactions to the first couple of courses. Gail Gulick, who so many of us know, former principal and educator in this community, and his wife are on with us today. And so, Gail, we'd love to hear from you about how in the world you have enjoyed these first two courses with your wine.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't have sound. I can't hear that.
Very good. Very good. Can you hear me, Carmen?
He's saying very good.
I need to hear them.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, hold on. I have to do this one.
Can you hear us, Carmen?
Yeah. So again, so it looks like you really enjoyed it. I saw your hands up. Tell me
my goodness.
all of
Delicious.
what you've
Magnific.
experienced so far.
Chefry, thank you for coming back for the second season. I look forward to visiting you at Sheffield's.
All right. So thank you so much. Now,
the work that you guys do at Helping Hands, Carmen, you and your staff is just fabulous. Thank you so much. And also, so cool to get
for joining us and giving us, and thank you for showing your ornament today. It's so wonderful. Thank you so much. We'll get to that later in the program, but thank you so much to the Gulicks for sharing your experience with us today. We appreciate your sharing your experience, and we're so glad to have Rob with us too. So thank you for acknowledging him as well. So now continue to enjoy your meal. We really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you so much. Bon appetit.
Yeah, so we wanted to include some of you with us today in order to get your reactions to the food that you are hearing. So there'll be a couple more times when folks will be joining us on this broadcast in order to share their reactions to the food. So I wanted to remind you of the silent auction and the fund a need items that we have up for auction and in our store at helpinghandsaiken.org. There are several items there that we'd love for you to look at every different price point. Everything from a night out at the movies during the winter break to a wonderful lights adventure, holiday lights adventure for our young people, and things as basic as a hot water heater, which is something that we need in one of our programs here as well. And so we are inviting you to go over and fund a need at whatever level is comfortable for you. I'll say the way I've heard many ministers say, or as one of my friends used to say, which is give what you think, and then just give one more dollar. We want to make sure that whatever you're thinking of, that you're able to contribute that. And if you don't see anything in that store that you want to fund, certainly just make a donation. We're happy to have that as well. So the next one of those items in the Fund the Need is Kids Chefs, and it's an item, it's a thing that we've had every year, where you as supporters can sponsor one child to go to Juniper Restaurant, where Brandon Veely prepares a wonderful 3-course meal for them, so they can dress up and sit at the table like this. So, Rob, I don't know, but you have young people around you?
Oh, yes. Well, with the students, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
There's
and
plenty of them.
Yeah, so this kind of setting is a little bit uncomfortable for them sometimes,
It is.
right?
Before the pandemic, we were doing some special things. We have a private dining room, and we were serving really nice food one day out of the semester, and it was kind of fun to do. You know, show them something different. Limited sign up, and that we just did it for their normal meal swipe, but would serve them really high-end food.
Yeah.
Got some great responses.
I mean, the experience itself, certainly as adults, we love to have kind of this dress up with all of the nice silverware, but the experience itself for young people is really, it really helps to make them comfortable, especially for a college student being able to experience the etiquette of sitting at a table with all of this stuff. Like when you sit down at the table, it makes you nervous.
Right, it does, and they understand. Then they'll understand if they have to have an interview and they have to go out to lunch, they'll know exactly what to do.
Exactly.
And it helps. It helps. It's first impressions.
Exactly. And so that is our point with Kids Chefs, right? We want to give them that experience of eating out at a table, and having those experiences of dealing with all of the silverware and feeling comfortable in the place setting. We want that to happen. For a lot of us, dinner happens in front of the TV. A lot of us don't sit at a dinner table, and so this experience is not exclusive to just us. Our kids at Helping Hands need to have that experience where they are sitting in a nice environment, and we want to provide that for them. Chef Brandon Veely at Juniper does this for us every year, and it's such a wonderful experience. And we'd love for you to see right now how that chef's experience goes for our young people at Juniper Restaurant in Rich Spring.
We all know the excitement that surrounds getting dressed to the nines in anticipation of a night on the town. That's what Kids Chef does for the youth in our residential program at Helping Hands. This event provides a first-class dining experience for residents and helps them to learn etiquette and express their individuality in a pre-dinner fashion show. The evening concludes with a wonderful 3-course meal provided by our lead chef, Brandon Veely, at his restaurant, Juniper, in Rich Spring, South Carolina, one of the area's finest restaurants. Thanks, Brandon and the wonderful staff at Juniper, for giving us a night to remember.
Yeah, so Kids Chefs is a wonderful experience for our young people, and they always have such a good time. And Juniper always, the staff at Juniper always makes us feel like first-class guests, and they always receive us really well. And so we just thank you for going there. There is a QR code for the auction items and for the Fund a Need that will go up on your screen in just a moment. You'll be able to use your phone to go to straight to the auction items and make sure that you get your bids in. So we want to make sure that you have those opportunities as many times as possible during this live stream and afterwards. So definitely continue to bid and donate. So our third course was prepared by Chef John McDonald from University Hospital in Augusta. And it is a Moroccan kefta kebab with tabbouleh, roasted heirloom tomato, and spiced yogurt. It sounds really good. And so John's going to describe again how this dish was created. We'd love for you to watch this video.
Hi, and welcome to the 18th Annual Chef's Extravaganza. I'm Chef John McDonald from AU Medical Center, and my dish today is a Mediterranean theme. It's a Moroccan street kebab, if you will. It's called a kafta. Very simple. It's ground beef and lamb, seasoning, spices, and herbs. And the tabbouleh I've done a little bit differently than traditional, a little bit more of the bulgur wheat than we would have, but still with parsley and herbs, a little bit of charred tomato, and a little bit of cucumber in there as well. And the plating will be very simple. Obviously, you'll be reheating, so the tabbouleh just needs to be room temperature. Just pull a little bit of that out and put it on your plate. And that is your base. Then we're just going to go on with your kebab. And then you're just going to finish that off with a little drizzle of the spiced yogurt. Short and sweet, very simple, but I think you'll enjoy. There's a lot of different flavors going on there, so it should be a good time. Thank you again for attending this event, even if we do have to do it virtually, and I hope you enjoy.
Alrighty, so let's get into this kebab. So tabbouleh. Tabbouleh.
Right.
I made it into something completely
That's
different,
okay.
and I called it tabbouleh.
That's okay.
I'm from South Carolina.
That's okay.
I just do what I want to do.
Not
okay.
a problem.
So talk to me. I know you didn't create this dish, but I know that you know so much. So tell me what you think about this dish and what the combination of items.
I like tabbouleh. I can just eat it just straight without all the stuff. It's like our salad. The kefta kebab is typically minced lamb and beef. There's parsley, garlic, onions in there. I believe he put some tomatoes in there as well.
Yeah.
And that's bulgur wheat.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
I would have never chosen that in another setting, but that really tastes good. We thank John McDonald for taking us to Morocco in this dish, and really I love lamb.
I do too.
It's a beautiful. I mean, I love lamb, and so this tabbouleh, tabbouleh is amazing, and I think it's something that I'll try again. What I want to point out too is that what these chefs are preparing for us, these are things that don't often get offered in their own restaurants or in the places where they work. So I was going to ask you a question, but I'm going to wait.
Okay.
Because of the lamb, but this is something that they don't get, and so you won't get these from them in the places that they work currently, because these are special items that they created just for this event, and that's one of the things that makes chefs so special for us. Is that John, when we saw John today, one of the things that he described was being in the kitchen with other chefs. It's like getting the band together.
Absolutely. It would have been all of us together to do the big thing.
Because they all work together in the kitchen for this event, and you all get the opportunity to be really creative. Tell me about like your process when you were thinking about what you would make for this event.
Well, actually, I searched. I couldn't figure out. I didn't want to go with the normal things. I wanted to do something a little different, and it just popped up. And I said, "That's a great idea. It's a typical. The mussels are typical of Belgium. In fact, one of the people at the university said, "Oh, I had those in France, and it was a Belgian chef, and he just brought them out." And he said, "And it goes really well with Stella Artois." So, and he likes that. But that's how it works. You know, it's like, there's so many ideas out there, and then you have to do a little research. And,
you have the opportunity to be creative in a way that maybe you don't get every day. And so we like that for our chefs, and it gives us all a great experience, a great culinary experience at this event. And so it's one of the things that we're really proud of, is that you're getting one of a kind dishes when you eat at a Chef's Extravaganza. So our next course is going to be the wood roasted Cornish hen. So I want to give you a little bit of a correction. Your heating instructions for your Cornish hen was not correct in your document that you got in your pickup instructions, but it is correct in your email. And so you are welcome to go and pull that up so that you can reheat that dish the way that the chef intended for you to do that. But this is a wood roasted Cornish hen with 3 cheese, mac and cheese, collard green and chimichurri. I love chimichurri. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, it
And
looks
so
really good.
I'm excited to really try that. And so Chef Dominic created a video for us to talk about his course. But before we get there, we're going to talk about the again, how Helping Hands has experienced this pandemic. And so if you'll just join us in watching this video.
So initially, because you didn't know what it was, you're kind of scared, you're nervous. But once it became a new norm, then you just got used to it, wearing masks, making sure that your area and your space is sanitized, not having as many visitors. But once that became the new norm, then we just picked up.
When the mandates first came out that things were going to be shut down, after about 2 or 3 weeks, and after listening to the daily press conferences from the governor's office, including DHEC, and looking at CDC updates and watching things that were happening, as the CEO, my job is to look at the macro level of everything and look at what the universal view of this pandemic was, and try to anticipate what the patterns would be coming to our agency, the waves, so to speak, that started in other countries and were headed our way. And so my job was really to make sure that I took all of that into account. And I gotta say, there was a lot of fear and anxiety associated with that, because I was giving information that I wasn't altogether sure was correct. Because it was new science and it was developing science, but I had staff members who were depending on me to make sure that I gave them the right information to move forward and to do their jobs safely. And they counted on us as leadership to make sure that they stayed safe.
So I was very nervous for the staff as well as myself, because this was something new. No one knew a lot about it. We were all glued to the television, getting the latest information that we could. But I know that because we go home to families, the children come to us from various places, making sure that everyone is safe. Are we following all the guidelines? So just a bit nervous for everyone's health.
Well, the biggest emotion I had was gratefulness. The reason I had that is because I got enormous amounts of help from other people here at Helping Hands. I could not have done what we did. We could not have, as a group, done what we did without the incredible amount of help from the direct care staff and other staff that was here. They were able to come over and help with individual children, and they were so willing to do that, and I was incredibly appreciative. So gratefulness is the greatest emotion that I had.
I think the emotions that I had at work were more centered around the fact that I had a small child at home, and I was also pregnant during the pandemic. So I think my emotions for work were like, I'm gonna go to my office, I'm gonna lock myself in there, do my work, and then scurry home just to try to make sure I wasn't overly exposed and I wouldn't potentially be exposing my family to COVID. But also, I've been around our kids for a really long time, and I knew that I didn't want to get our kids sick. We were doing everything we could as a team, as staff, as people whom our kids look up to just try to do everything we could to keep them safe, because this is their home, and we didn't want to be responsible for spreading COVID in the place that they call home.
So many adjustments made, and COVID was emotional for us. It was and it was emotional for everybody, I think. But one of the things that we were just talking about in the video was how emotional COVID was, and how we were striving to protect ourselves and our families and the children that we work with. And you being in the food service business and in the restaurant business, this was really a tough time for you guys.
It was huge. We had to reduce seating and put stickers on the floor, and then we had to hold the students accountable to that too.
Yeah.
Didn't always work, but we did.
Yeah, it's tough, right? So like we're sitting here today and we've both agreed that we disclosed that we're both COVID vaccinated, we're fully vaccinated. And so we're able to sit here at this close proximity without masks on. Last year we had face shields on and masks during our protest. I mean, during our broadcast. And so this is just a different experience as we get closer together as people, just adjusting to our new life in this pandemic. And so
going out to eat.
Yeah. Well, we're glad that we can go out to eat. But tonight we're eating in, right? At a Chef's Extravaganza. And this next course with that Dominic prepared for us from Salt and Marrow in North Augusta is just exquisite. We are really excited about this. And so, again, we want you to look at Dominic's process and coming up with this dish. And then I guess we got some pointers when we get done. I'm going to try this while we're on the break.
Chef Extravaganza. This is Dominic Simpson and the team at Salt and Marrow Kitchen. Today we're preparing Cornish hen, Bell & Evans Cornish hen with vegan collard greens and macaroni and cheese over our wood hearth grill that we prepare daily. Thank you for supporting Open Hands, and I hope you enjoy your meal.
So Dominic is a guy that, from what I understand from everybody that's interacted with him, that is pretty introverted. He's short with words, and so we're happy to get that video from him. And he was quick and to the point, just to get you guys to know exactly what you were eating. But let me tell y'all something. So you've been in South Carolina 37 years.
Yep.
I've been in South Carolina more than 37 years, my whole life, but I won't tell you how many years that is because that's not what girls do. However, this food is legit.
It is. It's really good.
It is really good. So
the macaroni and cheese is good. The collards are good.
Yeah. And let me say, y'all, just honestly, the little chicken, the little Cornish hen, for me was a little bit of a struggle. Just mentally, it's a struggle. Sure. The little drumstick is so small. I just feel personally, quail, dove, Cornish hen, all those things are a little, but this is really good.
Really good.
This chimichurri, we've had chimichurri in different forms from different people. It is quality. Really and these greens are legit greens. And so during the tasting, you were telling me that you do something special with your greens at home. Tell the people what you do.
I cook them in apple juice. I use apple juice, and I use bacon and a little cider vinegar. And my family will eat my greens, but they don't necessarily eat anybody else's greens. But I think they probably eat these. They're really good. They're a little sweet, and that's what I like a little bit. And so
just a little sweet too, but not too much. And that they have a little bit of acid, and they really taste good. And one of the things that you said on the break was my family would eat these greens. Absolutely. And so that's really a compliment. That Dominic prepared something that universal, and that old country girl like me would be willing to take, because I don't eat everybody's collard greens either.
I understand.
I eat mine, but not very many other people's. So we just want you to enjoy this course. And while you're doing that, I want to remind you again that there is an opportunity. There's a QR code being provided for you, so that you can go to our Fund a Need and to our silent auction items to be able to bid and pay sponsor experiences for our young people here at Helping Hands. And we would appreciate your support as we move through. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, our diamond sponsors, Aiken Regional Medical Centers, Bridgestone, and Chandler Law Firm. We also Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Meadows Media, Overstreet CPAs, and Security Federal Bank. Finally, want to thank our patrons, and we also want to thank our Emerald sponsors, Aiken Laundromats, one of our board members, Eric Brinkley, and Connie's Framing. Again, we want to express our sincere thanks for their support in making this event possible, but also helping us meet our fundraising goals for this year. You have to know that because we're not able to have in-person events, and we haven't been able to have full in-person events in a while, that our agencies and many other nonprofits agencies' ability to raise funds has been limited. I know that events have been canceled because, and when the Delta variant happened, that people began to become more cautious again and start to cancel events again. And so we are just really excited and really happy that folks like you, Rob, and people like you in our community are willing to continue to support us in our efforts here at Helping Hands to work with the young people.
Please donate.
Yes.
It's a great place.
And the QR code is right there. So all you got to do is just really get there and zap it, and it'll get you right where you need to be. So make sure that you sponsor and help to take care of the young people here at Helping Hands. So a little bit more about, again, thanking our sponsors, and also Ranco. Ranco has been a sponsor for this event for many, many years, and they are responsible for our set today and making sure that we're able to present this program in a nice way for you all. So thank you, Ranco. I forgot them on our first go around. Again, we want to talk more about our pandemic and how our resiliency here at the agency has really been key in making sure that we're able to make it through. And so listen to our staff members and our other affiliates talk about how we've moved through this pandemic over the past 2 years.
Well, I think the pandemic is still affecting everyone in little ways. It's like as simple as you can't occupy spaces. I'm in a sorority, and we have a big sorority meeting coming up, and everybody is asked to be vaccinated to attend. And so it's affecting me in those ways. My daughter is still in virtual school. I know that has been an option for kids, and I think there are schools trying to figure out what do you do with kids if they've been exposed, or if there's an exposure at school or an outbreak at school. How do you continue to maintain learning and teaching? And so I still have a child at home who is learning virtually. I have an infant who's not in daycare. He's at home.
Coronavirus is going to continue to impact me because it has really helped me to see even more how much every level of our staff is important. I've always felt like the direct care staff at Helping Hands was the engine that kept it all running. But coronavirus, this pandemic really has shown that to be true. It has shown us that we can't function without the people on the levels that are doing the direct work with the young people. And as the CEO, I'm important, but the work can't get done without them.
Me personally, I am just remaining as cautious as I was at the beginning here on campus. Rather, I've been vaccinated, but rather the child has been vaccinated or not, I keep my mask on at all times. For me, that's my way of keeping the youth here safe. So I just remain as cautious as I always have, washing my hands, sanitizing spaces and equipment when I'm done with the session, as well as when we're done with telehealth. So I've kept all the precautions in place that I had from the very beginning, and that's to keep me and the residents safe.
We are able to do some face-to-face sessions, not as many as we used to, but just making sure that we are reaching who we need to reach different ways. We're having a lot of team meetings still, a lot of Zoom meetings, but otherwise, everything is still okay.
So lots of changes, right? And during the pandemic, and even the way that we do things today, even as we evolve, you heard the staff really talk about how it still affects the way we do things today. Talk to me about how that might work in where you are.
Certain changes I think are going to stay, from sanitizing the tables differently, to the way we serve food, with gloves and things like that, and offer gloves to the patrons that do it. There's going to be a lot of change, and it's going to just stay, I believe.
Yeah.
People are more cautious all the way around.
Absolutely. I think those things are going to stay. I was thinking this morning about how I was listening to something on NPR that was kind of equating the coronavirus 19 to the way the flu is for us now, and how we'll just have to continue to consider that and how we move forward. And so I started to think about how we will integrate these changes and continue to implement different things as we move forward. I was just thinking not long ago, like young people, babies that are born, like Geneva's baby was presented during the video just a minute ago, and just thinking about, like, this baby has only seen half faces all of his life. And so what does that look like as we move forward? There's so many things that we're going to have to adjust to. But I'm used to wearing a mask now.
Me too.
We don't wear I think we've saved money on lipstick. And so it's just been a real interesting experience. So our fifth and final course is going to be presented by Chef Christian Carlisle. And before we get to the video on that, wanted to talk to you just a little bit about just kind of, again, how we move forward and adjust. And you were talking to me about how you got to know Christian just a minute ago. And just tell the folks about what was happening in this culinary community during the pandemic.
Well, the phone call went out. Actually, I talked to the vice chancellor, came to me and said somebody has some things that they might need to store. I said that wouldn't be a problem. And it ended up being Christian. And we got in contact, and I made space in my freezer because he was feeding elderly people and making meals. And I think what he was doing was a way for him to maintain his employees, to keep them working. And so I had freezer space, and Christian, would bring the food in, put it in the freezer, and they come back and load it back out whenever they needed to.
Yeah, I remember that. They were at the old Boots, Bridles, and Breeches, that big building over there.
Right.
And folks could go over there and pick up food. Some of the people, the council, the folks that work with.
And he did it a long time.
Aiken Senior Life Services. It was really a wonderful project. And we knew that Christian had a lot to do with that. So it's good to hear that backside. But the community just responded.
Yeah, us chefs stick together.
Yeah,
we do. And when we're in a kitchen, it's so much fun to work with new chefs, because most of us are adept, and we're going to change, and we'd like to have fun in the kitchen.
Yeah. So just like John said, the band getting back together.
Absolutely,
so
it really is.
It's really a good time, and I like that. You all are supporting and actually supporting even us. We had an issue at one point. We used to have a walk-in freezer here at Helping Hands, and the thing died. And you can relate to this. The truck had just come right the day before, and so it was full of food. And we spent a good part of an afternoon calling our chef friends in the community who work this event and asking for room in their freezers until we could get back up and running. And folks like Patrick Carlisle and folks like the folks at Woodside and different kitchens around the community let us store our food there. And, just working together. And I think just kind of the spirit of community that happens amongst chefs is really an amazing thing to be a part of. And we are so glad at Helping Hands that you guys look to support us.
It's really neat when we get together too. It's like we've known each other for years. It's really strange.
Yeah. It's strange, right?
It is.
Because it's synergy, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And the support. So in the kitchen during the live event, you guys don't get to go into the kitchen. We might have to figure out how to make that happen one time. But you don't get to go in the kitchen, but you don't get to see these chefs who are working together to help each other plate and working together to help each other prepare the meals. It's just really exciting to watch. But also the camaraderie and kind of, nobody's standing off to the side waiting for folks. Everybody pitches in. And again, just supporting everybody with getting their dish plated and out to the room. And so it's the same way that we look for your support, right? We need your support. And again, the funding needs and the donations that you make to Helping Hands to make sure that we can get our message out. We can get our product, which is safety for our young people, out to the community, and working with our young people here in residence to make sure that they have exactly what they need. And just like the synergy that happens in the kitchen with these chefs, that same synergy happens when you as community members join with us to make a great experience for our young people. And so we're just gonna kind of move ahead and talk about we'll have Chef Christian share with you about these mango and passion fruit macarons. So check this out.
Good evening. I'm Christian Carlisle from Blue Collard in downtown Aiken, South Carolina, located at 113 Waterloo Street. I'm sorry we couldn't be in person again this year, but I'm thrilled you get to experience our food in the comforts of your own home. For your final course this evening, in the international theme, we're closing with a French macaron, a Swiss buttercream filling, mango, passion fruit, and coconut from all around the world. Please enjoy this final course, and thank you for supporting a local agency, Helping Hands.
And I am dancing because these macarons are just amazing. You need to have this. And so this is a beautiful macaron. Hopefully you will enjoy these as well. I'm not even going to eat mine on camera because I feel like I'm going to look foolish in just a second, because there's an eye rolling thing that has to happen, and there are noises that I need to make in order to really enjoy this. So please enjoy the macarons. And if you've got coffee going, or if you want to, again, share or have it with your wine, please do that so you can enjoy the full. I can eat a box of those things. What do you think about that?
It's wonderful.
Yes, it is. It is. I could eat a box of them. And so I'm excited to get home in my pajamas and eat this. It's that kind of food for me. So again, we're just really happy that that Christian was willing to do this for us. He's over at Blue Collard here in the community. Please go see all of our chefs. Go see Christian. He supported us for many years, and please go see all of our chefs in their private restaurants. Chef Brandon Veely at Juniper and Ridge Spring. Although Rob can't make a plate for you right there at USC Aiken because it's not a public restaurant. I bet you. Is it?
Absolutely.
Well,
Anybody
tell us
can come
about
in.
that.
Anybody can come in.
Yeah.
And for, I think, $8.25, you can have a full buffet. And it's all you can eat. We do some great things for the students. Sunday's a special day. We do a brunch. We have omelets, like a carved meat, shrimp, things like that. We'll be doing that tomorrow. And that's
Are you kidding?
And anybody
I
can
could
come
have
in.
been getting omelets and carved meat at USC Aiken.
Every Sunday.
Come on.
Every Sunday.
Okay. I got a
Y'all
new
come
place
on.
to
We'll
go.
We'll be good. We got.
So
we got it
that's
covered.
amazing that there's brunch there. So I didn't know
And it's
that.
really reasonable.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So go see Chef Rob and his staff down at USC Aiken.
Absolutely.
Aramark is serving up brunch on Sundays, and on other days you can participate in the buffet.
During the week, we have we always have like an exhibition chef that's making something new and lively right there. The line is always long.
Whoa,
So,
I
and it's all
didn't
you
know
can
that. So this is not the cafeteria food that you are used to
No.
in your typical university, right? Aramark is just really bringing it with,
You know, kids are more involved. We've got the Food Network. We have everything. They'll let you know.
So they would have known what tabbouleh was,
Probably.
right?
Yeah,
they would have known how to pronounce that. Yeah. So please go see Rob down at USC Aiken. Jeffrey's over at Rose Hill doing wonderful things every night that they're open. And so please go see them at Rose Hill. Chef Dominic over at Salt and Marrow in North Augusta. I hear his food is everything that we've had from him has been amazing. And so see him. And definitely Chef Christian Carlisle at Blue Collar, who's serving up really great things. I was telling somebody that he even has vegan dishes that the carnivore likes. I love a good steak, but he serves really good vegan dishes, and he has a lot of things that you can reheat and have at your home. So definitely go see Christian as well. And then again, as I said, Brandon Veely, our coordinating chef, who is in Dallas right now. We're sending good wishes to him and his competition, but also visit him at Juniper. So now make sure that you go over to our silent auction and again, support our efforts in making sure that our young people have a wonderful experience here at Helping Hands, and that we do more than just provide a shelter for them to live in and food for them to eat, but that we're also here to provide experiences that make life richer and greater for them. And so it's not just sitting here at Helping Hands, watching television and kind of vegging out, but making sure that their holiday experience is wonderful. We want to make sure that they get to, during winter break, they don't get to sit home and be bored either. We want them to go out and experience things. We want to offer them new experiences that they've never had. I always tell this story about, I think I was probably, how old were you the first time you went to the beach?
Oh, goodness. Probably about 9.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah. So I was in elementary school very early. My family used to go to Savannah all the time to visit family. And so we'd always go to Tybee. And I gotta say, I was probably about that age, my first memory of the beach. But I have taken 16-year-olds to the beach for the first time at Helping Hands and watched them just blown away by the fact that the water just keeps going and going and going. It's something that I take for granted as a person who's grown up the way I have, but we are providing new experiences for these young people that they've never had before. And so we want to be able to continue to do that. So certainly go to our Fund a Need and to our silent auction using the QR code and make those donations to make sure that we can continue to do that. Now, finally, we've got a few more folks that want to plug in with us. And so, okay. So we are going to go to our video again to talk about how COVID will affect us in the future.
As a helping hand.
As it relates to my position, I believe that the use of telehealth and being comfortable with telehealth services should continue. We have a routine now, me and the staff. We have a protocol set up. We have a designated place for virtual sessions to take place, as well as the technology. We've downloaded the software. So I just believe that should continue. We're doing well. Just because a child comes to us from another county, now we don't always have to transfer them to me or to someone else. We can, if the other provider is comfortable, we can keep them right on going with the services that they have. So I believe that's an adjustment we had to make and that we should continue going forward.
If we are looking at the possibility of having the children home again for a length of time, I would want to lobby to change how the room was set up for the kids. I had them, I would set it up a little bit differently for them. But certainly being way far more aware of what they do on a daily basis is I'm able to follow their progress much more easily and much more efficiently, which I appreciate. Sometimes they don't, but I appreciate it. So there it is.
I think that since the pandemic, we were already a close-knit work family. So just checking on each other, make sure everyone is okay. Still maintaining space, telephone calls across campus, and just meeting however we can meet. Sometimes we have meetings and we're in the next office just to make sure that we are distanced and we're still safe.
Helping Hands will continue to provide services at the high level that we've always done it. I think that the changes we made during the pandemic won't change that. I think what it will change is our sensitivity towards the emotions that our staff members bring to work with them every day, but even more sensitivity towards our residents in the situational things that that go on in the world every day. We spend a lot of time focusing on their trauma and grief related to their abuse, the reason that they're here. But a lot of times we don't, I don't think we spent enough time really focusing on environmental things. And during the pandemic, of course, Black Lives Matter was happening at the same time. And so there was so much going on in the world around us. They were on television, they were watching protests, and they were watching death tolls and all of the things that we were all watching as adults, but not really considering how they might impact the mental health and stability of the young people that we work with. And so I think a greater awareness of how the world from the outside really impacts the work that we do here at Helping Hands.
Yeah, so one of the things that, just kind of to extend one of the points that I was making at the end of that video, is that sometimes we don't realize how much the external world really influences what happens inside our homes, whether it's here at Helping Hands or in your personal home. Oftentimes, as adults, we are milling around doing the things that need to be done. And sometimes we don't realize how much how the emotional impact that things are having on the kids in our house, you know? And so it's one of the things that we had to realize here is that though we were handling, and we thought we were handling the things that needed to be handled, I'm sure you experienced this at the university, that the mental health of the young people that you're dealing with, as much as you're trying to keep them safe, they have to mentally feel safe in order to move forward. So, you know, just...
We had a few things like that. You know, certain students, they had lots of reservations about coming into the cafeteria, the way we were handling things. You know, they were very particular. And we have some issues with students that have food issues that, that, you know, they're worried with their allergies and things like that. And we take care of them. You know, when it's a matter of getting face to face with them and say, look, you know, come to me, we'll take care of you.
And learning just the trust,
Absolutely.
Learning that you'll take care of them, and but also just that trust is really creating that emotional stability for them.
You know, they're away from home. Sometimes for the first time. And those are the ones that are really affected by coming to school. Things like that.
And in this pandemic, just mentally, what that did to so many of us, and think about the things that for me that were stressful. I can't imagine being out of the home for the first time. Our children in a very different situation, but being away from their parents as well was very stressful. And so here at the agency, we really had to think about how we presented things to our young people and the sensitivity with which we presented it, because we had to remember that they have feelings too. And so that was really a big part of how, so that video was really a great depiction. Our staff just really doing a good job of keying in on what our young people need, and trying to make sure that we provide those mental health supports for them. Again, we want to point to our silent auction and make sure that you are again bidding on the items on the silent auction and purchasing the items on the Fund a Need page. Now, there are also other items in our store on our website, and you are welcome. We'd be happy to have you purchase those items as well. Again, we want to make sure that our experience with our young people is as full as possible, and want to make sure that you get how important this work is for us and how important it is for our young people. And I had an experience locally recently to work with some young people at USC in Columbia. We were selected as one of the agencies that the university worked with in the PR department to in a program called Create-a-thon. And so we're able to bring in a couple of the young people that worked on the Helping Hands project, and they are here with us this evening. Hello to two of the young ladies that worked on Team Helping Hands, and so we're excited to have with us Miss Aaliyah and Sydney. Are you there, ladies?
Yes, I'm here. Aaliyah, I don't think we can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. How's everyone?
We are good over here.
Yeah. I have a question for you ladies. Can one of y'all tell me about Create-a-thon and what Create-a-thon was all about?
Yeah, so Create-a-thon was an event that we held at the university, and I know they hold it at another college somewhere in the country. And we have all these nonprofit organizations come in and kind of explain to us some needs that they have, whether it be website design or new logo, or they want a promo video, anything within like a creative realm. And they kind of tell us what they think they need to help further promote their organization. And then our job is to work as a team to come up with that, whatever it is that they end up needing, and present that to them.
That is amazing. Now, so tell me, why did you decide that Create-a-thon was something that you as a student who already has enough to do, I'm sure,
Yeah,
wanted to participate in?
Personally, I chose to do Create-a-thon because I'm a visual communications major. I do a lot of graphic design, especially. And I thought this would be a good way while still in school to kind of dip my feet into a real world experience of what it's like to work in this field, and also to gain some team working experience, because I've never worked on a team with anything like within my career path. So it was really cool to be able to do that with all sorts of different creative minds.
That is awesome. We are also interested in knowing how you chose Helping Hands.
Yeah. So I have experience working with children. After I graduated from USC in 2018 for my bachelor's in public relations, I moved to Spain and taught English as a second language. So I worked with children in that capacity. And then also when I came back, I worked with children at an after school care program. So I always kind of find myself coming back to the kids. And so Helping Hands mission just really resonated with me, and I thought it would be the perfect nonprofit to work with.
That is amazing. And we are so grateful that you chose us. Tell me, you guys made a wonderful, you put together a great package for us. And you remember, like, I had tears in my eyes because it was so amazing. But one of the things that really stuck out for us was a video that you made. Can you give me some idea of what your goal was with the video that you made?
Yeah, we really wanted to evoke emotion. We wanted to revive the current employees' passion for working with the children at Helping Hands. And then we also wanted to inspire others to work and volunteer for Helping Hands as well. And so we hope that that's what we accomplished. We were all very emotional when we saw it. Our teammate Kayla is the one who actually came up with the concept, and she did an amazing job. And we were all very excited to see it the first time, and we were very excited to see her reaction as well. So.
That is so amazing. Y'all, thank you so much. I just want to, again, express my thanks to your entire team for putting together this package for us. It was touching for me. It did evoke emotion for me. And so without further ado, again, thank you for your contribution to this agency. I want to present the Create-a-thon project on Helping Hands. Now, one of the things that they presented to us was a logo change. And so there's a logo at the end of this that the agency has not yet adopted. However, the video was so great that when I saw this presentation last Saturday, I wanted to be sure that our community got to see just how well these young people got our message. And so without further ado, I want to present the Create-a-thon video on Helping Hands.
With this is a helping hand. With these hands, we provide healing, support, safety, empowerment, education, inclusiveness, a future, a community, and a home for our youth. We need your helping hands to provide a brighter future for South Carolina youth. Join us today.
Oh, amazing. Either one of you have any comments about the video?
Oh, go ahead, Aaliyah.
It's just, brings back all of those emotions from seeing it the first time. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. It's just like really rewarding because I know like we worked super, super hard for 24 hours straight and we wanted to give you guys the best product that we could, and we were really glad that you guys were pleased with it.
We are absolutely happy with it. And again, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you for your efforts on behalf of the children at Helping Hands and the children in the state of South Carolina. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
Yeah, so our agency needs your helping hands, and that point was made really poignant in the video that you just saw. One of the things that touched me about that video and you working with younger people and having staff that works for you, you'll get this as being a manager, is that sometimes you have a vision for something and people don't always get it, right? Have you had that experience?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially with food. Sometimes we have these great ideas and this is going to work this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you present it, it's, completely opposite of what you thought it was going to be, and somebody else has another idea. And but it happens that way.
It happens, and sometimes the vision that you have, sometimes when people hear the vision, they hear it very differently.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, as the CEO here at Helping Hands, it was so nice to be in the room with these young people and realize from this video that they really got it. They got it. They got what our agency is about, and what we hope is that you, as our viewing community, as our community and our supporters, really get it too. We hope that you are plugged into the mission at our agency, and that you are just continue to support us, and that you're willing. Again, I want to thank our sponsors, our diamond sponsors, Aiken Regional Medical Centers, Bridgestone and Chandler Law Firm. Our emerald sponsors, Aiken Laundromats and Connie's Framing. And Ruby sponsors, Aiken Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Meadows Media, Overstreet CPA, and Security Federal Bank. And you, those of you in the community who bought tickets, those that are here with us via live stream and didn't get a plate, our families from all over the country, right? Because I hear you're a star.
I hope.
Yes. He has fans, and so he's got people logged in from all over the place. But our supporters that are all over the community, I think we've got a group in the mountains right now who weren't able to get food but wanted to join in our live stream. And so we just want to thank you so much for continuing to support us as an agency. We know that we can't do any of the work that we do without you, and any of the evolution and resilience that you have seen in us over the past 2 years has only been because we've gotten your notes and we've gotten your calls and encouragement. We have gotten your donations of cleaning supplies and the surprise pizzas that we get from places like USC Aiken or from our friends in the community, and the cookies and cupcakes and all of the little thoughts, all of the little trinkets, all of the small contributions to our agency, just letting us know as that you're thinking about us, you're thinking about our kids, and honestly, that you're thinking about our staff. This has been a tough time for all of us. And so sometimes the work that we do can be forgotten. And we sometimes seem invisible. Our kids feel invisible sometimes. And so it is important that people like Rob and the chefs that have contributed to this tonight, and that you in the community continue to help us see ourselves, and that we continue to help us know that we're being visible to you. And so thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please be sure to continue to look at the silent auction items, look at the fund and need items, and look in the store to see how you can continue to support our mission here at Helping Hands. Definitely, we always need volunteers. And so if you're interested in volunteering, please view our website at helpinghandsaiken.org and contact us so that we can have you become a part of the team that we have created to enrich the lives of young people and families in our community. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope that you continue to enjoy your meal. You got a whole bottle of wine tonight, and so hopefully it's not gone yet. You'll have time to finish that and enjoy the rest of your meal if you haven't already wolfed it all down. But thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you in person next year at the 19th annual Chef's Extravaganza.